The Rock came out, said some words. Did it mean anything? No. It's going to be interesting seeing Roman come into the Rumble. Man, it's going to get his ass beat.
1, 2, 3.
That's it! It's over! What a match!
What is going on, and welcome everybody to the debut episode of WWE Weekly Recap. Name in progress? Probably not. We're going to stick with that. I came up with it in like 5 minutes. In any event, we are going to be recapping everything and everything. Anything and everything. Whatever. That has transpired in the week of WWE television, as well as any news, rumors, things of that nature. So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to start off right away with the Raw on Netflix premiere, which happened last Monday, evidently knocking off Squid Games from the top 10, which is pretty damn cool. I believe from what I read online, it garnered about 4.5 million views, which is pretty awesome. I believe that's usually around like double, if not half than double, the amount that it would usually get on USA, things of that nature, I guess, depending on what was transpiring either on television with the storylines, if we're leading up to WrestleMania, things of that nature. But in any event, still a pretty awesome start to the Netflix debut for WWE in general. It was a stacked card. We had appearances by The Rock, which we'll get to in just a sec. Raw, Netflix, awesome. I would say it was a pretty safe episode to introduce any newcomers, or especially the Netflix execs, people like that, which we had The Rock welcome. Starting off with the card, we had the Tribal Combat match, which was Roman Reigns and, of course, Solo Sikoa fighting over the Ulafala. Roman Reigns emerged victorious. The Rock presented him with the Ulafala, acknowledged him, blah, 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 whatever. I think everyone and their mother was expecting The Rock to turn on Roman Reigns. But as I mentioned, this was a pretty safe episode to introduce a lot of people, newcomers and Netflix execs. So I feel like they wanted all the baby faces to win. We'll get to all that stuff later on eventually. But it was pretty evident throughout this entire episode that none of the heels are winning. Baby faces only. Which brings me back to The Rock. This man massively broke kayfabe. If you don't know what kayfabe is, I'm sorry. If you do know what it is, I'm sorry. The Rock came out with the Final Boss theme, Final Boss gear, and then just began to give Cody Rhodes his flowers, talk about the Netflix executives, thank you to X, Y, and Z, yada, yada, yada. He had some of his Terramana tequila with Cody Rhodes in the back, hopped in his truck, was going to skirt off, stops, and then is like, oh, I'll be on NXT tomorrow, which we'll also get to in a second. So, Tribal Combat was whatever. It was fun. I wasn't, but I should have expected commercials on Netflix for Raw. It was bizarre. Still seeing the usual sort of like ads, some of which you would see on USA or whatever. But, they have sponsors that they have to adhere to, so I don't know how that'll go going forward, if they'll continue with the commercials or if there'll be less or more. We'll just have to wait and see. But it wasn't that bad from what we've seen on television. However, it still hurt the pacing and the match flow for some of the matches that we did have on the card. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, that's finished. Rhea Ripley is now the new Women's World Heavyweight Champion. I guess she's gonna. Everything with the Judgment Day is gone. It's water under the bridge. Thankfully, finally, because it was taking 6 years and a month. Liv Morgan, not quite sure where she goes from here. She had a hell of a run. She did phenomenally throughout her championship tenure, in my opinion at least. If you don't think so, please feel free to sound off in the comments section. I would love to have a chat with any of you. Any questions or comments, things of that nature, please leave it down below. Maybe her and Raquel can go for the tag titles. I don't know. At least it'll give them something to do. It'll interject some more teams into that very stale division, which needs it very badly. We also had Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. Pretty forgettable match. Maybe they need more time. The commercial breaks, again, just hurting a lot of the flow of the matches, in my opinion. It probably would have been a lot better to be there live. The match was fine. It protected Drew. Speaking of protecting Drew, he was also under the influence because of a so-called fellow by the name of Travis Scott, who decided to accompany Jey Uso to the ring, or at least during his entrance, which is pretty cool with that drone shot. But this man had a lit blunt in his hand. Absolutely stupid, diabolical. There's children there. You're on live television. And not to mention, he had Drew McIntyre get affected with some secondhand high. That's what happened. Jey Uso got Drew McIntyre with the roll-up. It was an okay match. Like I said, I think they need more time. I don't know. I would expect to see certain things that we didn't see last week, or on the premiere rather, come back into the fold, hopefully. So we'll see. Enough of the playing safe garbage. You did it. Everybody has to, get up to speed. Whatever. Totally kidding. If that was their mantra, they'd be losing so much money. That's why I'm not in charge, and I'm just armchair booking right now. And the main event, for me, left a little bit to be desired, simply because, again, those damn commercial breaks. A lot of people enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it, but it left me wanting more. However, I do believe that also comes into play at the professionalism of CM Punk and Seth Rollins, not throwing everything and the kitchen sink right away in their first encounter. I do believe that there is more that they can do. I believe there's more to the story. I don't think they're done at all. I don't see either one of them winning the Royal Rumble. I firmly believe that this program is going to go into WrestleMania. It was supposed to for 40. Didn't happen because of the tricep tear at last year's Rumble. I enjoyed the match. Wanted more. Punk cut a great promo on the post show, which I wish kind of made the original broadcast for Raw. It wasn't saved for the post show, but I get it. They wanted a lot of people to tune in. By the end of it, I think it amassed like 1.4 million views, so they clearly did something right, and it was almost 2 hours. I only watched like a little bit of it when Triple H came out. I was like, yeah, I'm going to bed. It's too late. NXT. We have, I guess, technically 3 new champions, but we'll count it as 2. Julia defeating Roxanne Perez, which should have happened months ago, but whatever. I get it. Keep her in chase mode. Let people get acclimated to her. Whatever. Familiarize the audience that aren't familiar with her previous work outside of WWE with her in NXT. Keep her in chase mode. Boom. New Year's Evil. The first NXT episode of 2025 started off hot. 2 new champions. 2 new world champions. Julia and Obafemi, which we'll get to in a second. Alexis King also becoming the Heritage Cup winner, whatever the hell. So I guess that's like technically 3 championship changes, whatever. The rest of the show is pretty interesting. The Rock came out, said some words. Did it mean anything? No. He basically rehashed what he said the night before. He mentioned something along the lines of, I guess to kind of, address the fact that like he broke kayfabe to like the umpteenth degree. He said something along the lines of, I'm always 20 steps ahead. Whatever. If you say so, pal. If you say so. So yeah, that happened. He just took time from the NXT superstars. Earlier in the night, he had like a little backstage segment with his daughter. And Ethan Page, who could barely contain his excitement. If you really look close at him, this man is like fighting to not like smile. Because it's, it's an interaction with The Rock. Just a couple of more months ago, what was he doing in AEW? Nothing. Boom. Gets thrust into the main event scene as soon as he debuts in NXT, wins the title. Now he's in a backstage segment with The Rock. Awesome. So good for him. So The Rock says a couple words, whatever. Main event, Trick Williams gets pinned by Wwe-Ekly. New champion. Amazing. Hopefully he has a similar run to what they did with him for the North American title. Just have him go super beast mode, right? NXT Stand Up Deliver this year. Have it Wwe-Ekly, Trick Williams. They have a great match. Wwe-Ekly retains. Trick Williams, has his swan song with the NXT universe. Bring him up to the main roster. And then just have Wwe-Ekly go on like a year-long reign. And then 2026, Stand and Deliver. Whoever defeats him, instant stardom. Their stock just through the roof. And then Wwe-Ekly can come to the main roster too. That's how I would do it. Are they going to do it that way? Probably not. They'll probably do it 10 times better than I can ever conceive. That's why I'm here and not there. SmackDown was a pretty boring episode. Paul Heyman came out, says, "Hey, Cody, Roman's not here, but he wants you to know he's coming back for that title. He's going to see you at the Royal Rumble. He's going to win it. He's going to point the sign, point at you, whatever." If Paul Heyman thinks that Roman Reigns is going to come out of the Royal Rumble unscathed and not get jumped by every single boy and girl on that roster, he's got another thing coming to him. Roman Reigns, yeah, we might love him now, OTC, all day, but the amount of people that he did so dirty in his 4 years as champion, they're gunning for him, and they're going to beat the brakes off that boy in that ring, toss his happy ass over those ropes. 1, 2, 3, gone. Back to the drawing board. So it's going to be interesting seeing Roman come into the Rumble, and I'm 1,000% sure this man is going to get his ass beat by everybody, and it's going to be funny. So, and rightfully so, honestly. Yeah, not a lot happened on SmackDown. Nia Jax called Tiffany Stratton an ungrateful little shit, told her to give her title back. That's not how that works. Fatal 4-Way, Bayley became number 1 contender for the title next week, I believe. Yeah, on SmackDown. Whatever. So we had Michin, Chelsea Green again. Michin's been putting in work for like months. I want to say since they had like that, around the time when they had NXT at that UFC Apex arena in Vegas or whatever. That was around like that time, like late summer, early fall, where Michin was just going full gear, like just on a completely different level. She changed up her gear, her look. I feel like she just started adding a lot more stuff to her in-ring style. Can you stop? So kudos to her. I wouldn't mind seeing her at some point, of course, win the United States Championship. But of course, Chelsea Green, being Chelsea Green, doing some of the things that she's done, I would say it's definitely, much deserved to her. So no knock on Chelsea Green whatsoever. But I think eventually, whether that's a Saturday night main event or maybe even at the Royal Rumble, Michin picks up the victory, becomes the second women's United States champion, which would be pretty cool. I'm just gonna close my door so my cats don't annoy me anymore. Not a lot happened that of importance on SmackDown, in my opinion. LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura. LA Knight doesn't win. Shinsuke's still champion. Does he need to be champion? I don't know. Sure, whatever. His presentation is pretty cool. Is he better suited as a heel? I don't know. We're still working out the kinks here. I don't mind it. LA Knight, I feel, has kind of just fallen down the totem pole just a little bit in terms of like stock or whatever. He's still getting loud pops and whatever. That's cool. Just I feel like since his last program, really with Logan Paul, and then when he won at SummerSlam, that was kind of like the last time where I felt like he was at like his highest. He should have won a title before that, but I get it. They wanted to keep him in chase mode, keep raising his popularity, things of that nature. So, I'm sure they've got it all figured out. He's just a little bit, not necessarily damaged goods per se. He's floundering just a teeny little bit. I'm wondering if maybe like a roster trade to Raw perhaps might do him some favors. I don't know. But again, I'm not in charge. That's why I'm here. Main event, whatever. Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, goes through a table, whatever. I'm very interested in their ladder match at the Rumble. I feel like we haven't had like a really good ladder match in a while. And it's going to be for the Undisputed and Winged Eagle Championship, which is still a stupid name. I will stand by that forever. Because eagles have wings, obviously. Just call it the Eagle title. Whatever. Time for some news and rumors. Vince McMahon has to pay WWE $1.3 million, as well as another $400,000. For what? What does this mean? Nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Just whatever hush money that he used, he has to pay that back now. He has to pay whatever money to the SEC. The whole Janelle Grant thing is still ongoing. This man deserves jail time. He deserves to go to hell. I will stand by that to this day for the obscene shit that he made some talent do. And if they wouldn't have done it, they probably would have gotten punished, squashed, whatever. Some of the things that he's done on television himself. And then, of course, the things he's done to people. Case in point, the lawsuit that's still ongoing. Lastly, AEW might be losing somebody. Or perhaps they already have. We don't know. But word on the street is that Malachi Black, formerly known as Aleister Black, is wrapping up with AEW, or is at least already done. I don't know. I'm not sure the parameters of his contract, when it ends, whatever. But do we see him at the Rumble? Do we get a surprise entrant? I don't know. I think the Royal Rumble is shaping up to be probably one of the better ones that we've had in like 2 or 3 years as far as surprise entrants. I feel like we haven't really had a lot of those. It hasn't bothered me too much because the roster is so stacked. So we've been able to at least showcase some of the talent that's active on the roster as opposed to relying on any legends, things of that nature. I think DDP was saying that he wants to do something with Randy Orton, like take like an RKO or essentially like a diamond cutter, which would be pretty funny. But this man is like 7 years old, but he's still like probably in much better shape than I am, or half of us, whatever. So kudos to DDP. If he wants to do that, I would love to see that. Pretty eventful week. Some ho-hum stuff, some bizarre stuff, mainly you, Rocky, Dwayne. So hopefully we kind of just get back to normal, for lack of a better term, this upcoming Monday. NXT should be relatively the same. There was nothing different on NXT. It felt and stayed the same. The action was nonstop. Probably the better piece of programming for WWE this week in terms of continuity and just action and pacing. But that's also because I feel like they've mastered 2-hour format. SmackDown going 3 hours, it like hit 10 o'clock and I was like, why the hell is the show still going? And I completely forgot that it's going to be like 3 hours until like June or something. So unless they can figure that out, whatever. As far as this little program, this little shindig here goes, I'm planning to do this at least every Saturday, Sunday. I wanted to do it Sunday specifically just in case to kind of like get us a little bit acclimated to after the PLEs. Maybe for PLEs, or if there's any other sort of like event, like a boxing match or whatever, UFC, maybe I'll do like a live reaction or something and stream that on YouTube. But I kind of want to keep these Sunday, so then after the PLEs, we could just talk about it. Although, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hoping to interject a couple of different things, maybe some graphics, just make it look a little bit better. Any suggestions, again, comment section down below. But in any event, thank you all so much for tuning in. Like this video, share with your friends, comment down below, check the description box for all my socials. If you didn't see it before, pulled up behind me was my Twitch TV account, which I might do some live streams on there, whether that's WWE 2K 24 or 25, whenever that drops. Got a couple other different games that I've been wanting to play. Silent Hill, Stray, a couple different games. So maybe we can tackle those as well. The link to that will be in the description box. My TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, if you want to follow me on there as well. Talk about wrestling and just workout stuff and stupid shit. So if you're into that, follow, whatever. Love, peace, and chicken grease. And I will catch you all in the next video. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll catch y'all next week.
My rhymes, my grind, my struggle, hustle, sweat in my blood too. A predator smells fear, I smell a lot. My competitors flex here. They smelled I was hot, I want it all. Excess, the sex, much success, stress us. I want it all. No